First time I played against this man in this building, I was terrified.
Man, we were all terrified.
The guy that kept me up most nights because he was in our conference was Patrick Ewing.
Every center got one but Pat.
There's not that many great centers. And I'd be Michael Jordan in this era.
He was, quote-unquote, the savior. He was the guy that was going to bring this thing back to where it once was.
He had a lot of pressure on him to play for a championship.
Patrick Ewing.
Think about the greatest centers to ever step foot on an NBA hardwood. Immediately your mind goes to Shaq tearing down backboards or Hakeem dancing in the post with the dream shake. But history has a funny way of erasing the giants who never got to hold up the Larry O'Brien trophy. Because if you actually look at the film, you realize we have been completely disrespecting one of the most ferocious, dominant, and impactful forces the league has ever seen, Patrick Ewing. For 15 years, this man wasn't just playing basketball. He was carrying the entire weight of New York City on his back. From the exact second he was drafted in '85, Madison Square Garden finally had a heartbeat again. And what made Ewing so special wasn't just the raw numbers. Though casually averaging 24 and 11 in his prime is absolutely absurd, it was that he combined a lethal, unblockable baseline fadeaway with a terrifying level of grit that simply does not exist in today's game. He was the anchor of a legendary Knicks defense that made opposing players genuinely dread flying into JFK Airport. If you dared to drive into the paint against Patrick Ewing, you weren't just contesting a shot, you were paying a physical price. But today, casuals look at the back of a basketball card, see the empty ring finger, and try to act like he wasn't that guy. What the spreadsheet won't tell you is that Ewing went to actual war in the most brutal, unforgiving era of Eastern Conference history. He went to war with prime Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, and Alonzo Mourning year after year, all without a true secondary superstar to elevate the offense. He played through agonizing knee pain, he was wrapped in ice, drenched in sweat, and literally dragging his body up and down the floor just to give New York a fighting chance. And look where we are right now. As the Knicks find themselves back in the NBA Finals, the energy surrounding this team feels like a direct echo of what Patrick Ewing built. So I'm going to show you a list of NBA legends and players, explaining how special Patrick Ewing was.
The first time I saw Patrick Ewing play was at the Boston Shootout. We go up to this tournament and we see this kid just blocking everything. You can't get the ball past him. Guy drives the basket, he blocks the shot. Guy shoots a jump shot, he blocks that too. They pass it to the weak side, he sprints over to the weak side and he blocks it. All he did was block every shot. I sort of said to myself, if we're in the same class, I got a lot of catching up to do.
Physically dominant, mean, was gonna block your shot and knock you down and stare at you. Everything he did had an aggressive tone to it.
Go and do it every night. Patrick was a worker, he was a warrior.
We understood that he was our leader, and when you got a guy like that who puts it out there on the floor every single night, you can't help but listen to him.
He was the face of the franchise. He was an all-out warrior. We knew we could ride that horse all the way to the finish line.
Patrick liked to work. As soon as he stepped on the court, he's going to be drenched with sweat.
I'm a fierce competitor. I'm always sweating and my game face is on. You know, I take the demeanor of this is my house and I'm gonna protect it.
He called me and we had talked, and I don't know if I can play tonight. Come in the locker room, who's the first one there? Patrick Ewing.
We are seeing a Willis Reed type performance by Patrick Ewing.
He wanted it so much, and he tried to do everything he could to win it.
I mean, I tell people, man, you guys sleep on Patrick. You know, he just, none of us could get past Michael, but that man was great going back to college. Patrick Ewing is the nicest guy you ever gonna meet. And man, we were all terrified the first time you got a chance to meet Patrick because you were going on that Hoya paranoia stuff. And we're like, yo man, should we go say hello to this dude? And man, you talk about one of the great people I've ever been around, Patrick Ewing.
You know you got to show up in the garden, so when I get to the garden, It's like, nice to meet you, Mr. Ewing. Put your hand up. Nice to meet you, Mr. Ewing. And Pat, no, go like this. And Pat did me like this. Shut your ass up, rookie.
Hey, that's my next question.
So now I'm like,
It like that.
I'm like, you know you done fucked up, right? Yeah, so now, because I was like, man, it's Pat. But then when he did that, I'm like, bro, you trying to punk me in front of my family right now? Bro, I know we in New York, but Jersey right over there too. I said, okay. And then, same thing with him. So, first game he got me, but like, on that turnaround, I'm right there.
You all right?
No.
What's it? Look like you're getting emotional.
Yeah,
Why you crying?
I just saw Patrick Ewing, man.
That's a real tear, too.
Yeah, that was Patrick Ewing.
Can we get a close-up on the tear? Yeah, can we zoom into that? That's real tears, ladies and gentlemen. That's not trickeration.
Are you saying not like the real
get you
abs?
a tissue.
Like the real abs?
No, you know what? A lot of people when they talk about the greats, Patrick Ewing name never comes up, but I'm putting Patrick Ewing names in there as one of the greats. He was a great competitor, even though he never won a championship.
Even at the time when you scream, "This is my house, get out."
Of course. Hey, listen. I watch a lot of karate movies, and in every karate movie, the student always had to kill the teacher to become the best. So, even though Pat was better than me, I had to say that to psych myself out. But Pat was a great player, great competitor, did a lot, and, I'm putting him as one of the top 5 centers.
You were a great low post player,
Right.
but that 15-foot jumper was your money shot.
Definitely. That was my go-to shot, my turnaround in the block or face up, shoot the shot, face up drive. Those were my go-to move, and I enjoyed doing them.
A traditional center, young people, 7 foot tall, can play facing the basket, can turn over both shoulders, can protect the rim, double-figure rebounder, was a terrific star at Georgetown in college, was the face of the franchise of the New York Knicks for so very long. There are people walking the streets of New York City right now that have never seen the Knicks since Patrick Ewing played for them. Because really, that was the last time they were good. That just shows you how dominant he was in their uniform.
Every center got one but Pat.
Ewing over Charles.
Charles is 2. Pat,
I would
Charles.
go. Ewing had better teams.
Yeah.
Ewing's team swept Charles's teams when he was in Philly. The early Ewing teams would beat.
Kenny, would you go Chuck or Knick?
Patrick was mean. Patrick was mean, and all the Georgetown guys were mean, and coming up, I tried to pattern my game after Patrick, and Patrick was a great player.
First of all, I think Patrick Ewing is probably the most underrated of all the great centers because he didn't win the championship. But I will say this about him: that guy, he's a man. Yeah, he's a teddy bear.
The guy that kept me up most nights because he was in our conference was Patrick Ewing. And not only because he was well coached under the Riley years, but you knew what you were getting defensively when the Knicks drafted Patrick. We knew he was going to protect the basket. But I think all of us would be a little bit shocked that he has over 25,000 points because he wasn't a scorer while he was at Georgetown. And the way he evolved offensively, yeah, he's not in the category of a Shaq or a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Hakeem Olajuwon. But you talk about one of the meanest guys to protect the paint. Patrick Ewing was that guy. I don't think a lot of New Yorkers give Patrick Ewing the credit that he deserves. A lot of times he was the scapegoat, and it's unfair to him because this was one guy that brought 110% each and every night he took the floor. And yeah, he didn't win a championship, but it wasn't because it was a lack of effort. And when you hear New Yorkers talk about Patrick and sometimes the misfortune and not winning the championship, I scratch my head because there's a lot of us on this panel because of the great Michael Jordan didn't win a lot of championships, and he just falls into that category.
The record speaks for itself. He's got the numbers. He'll always get my vote as the greatest center of all time for the Knicks.
I always will be a Knick, always will be a New Yorker. Thank you very much.
If the Knicks do win, I'm still not putting them above my favorite player in Patrick Ewing. I want to say thank you for everything. I appreciate you and I love you. You will always be my favorite. You hear of all this talk, King of New York and all that. The New York Knicks belong to Patrick Ewing, just like the Lakers belong to Magic and Kareem. New York Knicks belong to you. Thank you for being here. You're making my day. You know how much I love you, brother.
I appreciate that. I want to echo that because they always say there's the whole thing about who's the greatest Knick. The greatest Knick is sitting with us right now.
There.
Only because of this. This is my explanation before it. He's never played with a first, second, or third team All-NBA player. every great player, even the ones that are sitting here, they had someone on their team who made first, second, or third team All-NBA. Patrick Ewing played with some really good players, but Shaq played with Kobe. You know, Akeem played with Clyde Drexler.
Oh my goodness!
They're the great players. David Robinson had Dennis Rodman at times, had Tim Duncan. So Patrick Ewing never had that, and we were happy back in '95 that he didn't have that, because they took us to 7 games, and if they had that, that would have been possibly the difference. So Patrick Ewing, we bow down to the greatest Knick of all time.
And Chuck, Ernie, can I give a confession?
That's why you're here.
The first time I played against this man in this building, I was terrified.
Were you really?
Oh my, terrified.
Ernie, I don't know why he was terrified, because you know, a lot of people don't realize how big and athletic this man was at that time. He used to run the heck out of me.
Yeah. And I'm sure you had heard about this and seen this kid at LSU. And when he gets in the league, how did what you had seen as a college kid compare with him as an NBA player?
Well, it definitely compared. He had the belief, he had the nasty, he was physical, he was athletic.
Who did I get that from?
Hey, look, one Jamaican to another. One Jamaican to another.
Well, I just want to say this. I hate you. I only got swept one time in my life, and you swept me.
You got swept? You weren't good enough to win the game?
I got swept one time. And then him and Mark Jackson broke out the broom. So I'm going to always be bitter and angry about that. And we showed it, though. I got swept one time in my career, and that was in the best of 5.
Yes, it was.
But you came out there, you and Mark Jackson, 2 of the greatest people I know. Y'all broke out the broom in Philadelphia, and I don't like your ass, and I'll never forgive you.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and tell me, where do you rank Patrick Ewing on the all-time center list? So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and until next time.